Look, which is to say, those that have ears to hear, let them hear. Our Heavenly Dad's grace and presence in you is what makes you lovely. And all you need is to be aware of such. This is the gift of God, your God. This is what all heaven is about. There's a lot of things on the earth, so to speak, but none of them count without the loving kindness, the care, the appreciation, the goodness that is personified in our view of God. I had a dream this morning, and a church was closing. I think it was a wooden structure, you know. Yes, not one of those stone churches, a wooden one. And whoever it was said to me, oh, there's a lot of things that have to be cleared out. And in those things is, of course, an immense amount of history. How they got there, who the people were that were using them and put them there, their hopes and their relationships and their lives. And you don't want it to become a longing for the past, but you do want it to be an appreciation. What I mean to say is, it's wise to transpose it, transform it into more appreciation and the love of God for all existence and all being and all learning that all life has had in all the past. That it's a living presence in that it's the roots of the present, and we value it because of all that God made of it, for all the life that passed through it. You can feel that in a school building somehow, or grounds, when the kids are not there and the staff are not there. And in a sense, it's full of memories. And you need a happiness now in your heart, an awareness of the love and the presence of your God, who personifies all that you value, to be in your heart, else you cannot abide the past. The loss of it. Whereas if you are loved now, which usually means, as far as I know, if you are loving now, and caring for all the goodness that God has given us, then you can cope with the past being past, because the present is so lovely by the grace and the goodness and the love of our God. To worship you I live. To worship you I live. I live to worship you. I should say we had a really lovely Christmas. I was asked beforehand by one or two people, as people do, what you're doing for Christmas. Anything planned? No. And yet each day was filled with company of people that I was purposed to bless. And we had just a lovely time. Exhausting socially, talking for hours. And eating, but not eating too badly. In the sense of not some fantastic expense. Travelled a bit to see them because people I was with live 20k away, so I had to drive there. And we drove a little to one or two places or people to have meals, and I mean, got to bed incredibly late for me, nearly midnight on 2 or 3 nights. And so much of it was filled with, in a sense, talking about God, what we value, various religious things, various things about churches. Astonishing. I even managed to continue to do much recording. I even managed to meet so many people that I delight in leaving my card with people, because the recordings referred to there on YouTube may just be a blessing to them. I feel I've put, do you think this is self-elevating? But I don't mean it to be. I feel I've put a treasure in their hand, a portal, a doorway into a fantastic experience of loving their God, the personification of all that they value, and the amazing miracles that devotion to God opens up to anyone that chooses to do it. And of course, it's a time of the year when people want to be relating and their best. And they respond so well to kind comment, a love and kindness in meeting. Even though they might be working, they might be, at the cash desk of something retail like petrol station or supermarket or what. Or there may be the people that are at some meeting, sort of church or group And there's a moment of loving kindness. And I can leave them my card, which says, access to this YouTube channel, so to speak. I don't know. And I know in my heart that everything in it is with the purpose of blessing, giving them fullness of life, happiness, joy, peace, hope, assurance, love, and an empowerment to be all of this to the people and life around them, that they be the blessing. Knowing in my heart, so to speak, that in blessing they will be blessed, that God does a greater thing in us than through us because of his loving kindness. And our dwelling and thinking upon his loving kindness, his blessings to us and all others, all life, transforms us, our whole purpose and being and values, into a perfection that is always beyond our visualization. And yet we are filled with this hope of the goodness of God. I was going to say now being part of it, but that wasn't quite it. I think I mean our being it. That we enter into being the goodness of God and the blessing of God, the fullness of life, in fact. We've found life eternal. It's a benevolence to all around us. A purposing, a strong purposing of their welfare and benefit, life and joy and peace. And we find we have it in our heart, which is a glorious emancipation into life eternal. I see the words are flowing a bit for me. To say a bit is an understatement. I've been so blessed by probably the loveliest Christmas and New Year now that I've had. It's hard to say, and I don't want to compare them and lose the value of those that are in the past. But just to say, a lovely Christmas and a lovely New Year. And yet you would say, what did you do at Christmas? Oh, I don't know. Met with a few people. Fellowship with a few friends. Such a blessing. There managed to be a loving, helpful harmony and fellowship with the people I met. In some sense, I mean, it was quite deliberate. I deliberately helped and, if you like, befriended and took certain people for things to do, drives, a cafe, something nice, a meeting. Made sure they weren't left out. And you just knew they felt blessed. And that was such a blessing, to be part of the goodness and the kindness of God is life eternal. May you be utterly blessed in the same way, always. The Lord bless you, and keep you, and cause his face to shine upon you and within you, always. May the Lord give you strength and joy and peace and hope and love, and fill your whole purpose with loving kindness, creativity, goodness and blessing that radiates out and through everyone you meet, that you see the love and kindness, the goodness, the gratitude of us all to each other, to our Heavenly Dad, to all the host of heaven and all life, for the goodness and the love of our Heavenly Dad. The Lord bless you and keep you, and he does. Thank you, Heavenly